I'm firmly believing that Britain is. I've said this for a few years. Britain is like the Florida of Europe, right? Whenever you get some batshit crazy story about who's getting like arrested for what and all this nonsense, Britain fucking like it's like Florida man on bath salts, right? Holy shit! Just I came across this on Twitter, and being offensive is an offense, man. Anybody who tells you that Britain has any semblance of freedom of speech is an absolute liar. They are a liar or they are completely ignorant. When you have people getting arrested for posting offensive shit on Facebook or not even being arrested, right? Just cops knocking on your door saying, "Hello, governor. It's Tuesday, isn't it? And you've posted an offensive meme on Facebook, and I'm here to warn you, it's a non-criminal offense." They call it a non-criminal hate crime or a non-criminal offense, something like that, reportable. I don't know. But the fact that they've got their fucking cops out there going after people who say, maybe racist, okay. So someone said something racist or xenophobic or homophobic or Islamophobic, right? And they got cops out there knocking on people's doors, sometimes arresting people. Meanwhile, they're embroiled in this fucking rape gang. They ignored that for the sake of multiculturalism, because God forbid you should maybe call out some facts. You know, people are getting tired of this thing, and this is what's the one thing I do like about Trump being elected is it's a signal of the end times for wokeness, and we're seeing this in Europe, and people are just tired of it, and people are no longer afraid to speak their mind about whether it's Islam, whether it's about transgenderism and all this shit. People are just like, oh fuck it. They're kind of like, see, this is where I'm a hipster. You know, I was cool before it was cool to do this, but what was I gonna say? You got to just shrug your shoulders if someone calls you a racist or a phobe. Like, oh, you're a transphobe. Yeah, fuck, whatever. I guess so. Now what? Right? And the moment you do that, you're like, it takes the power away from them. They're like, oh, because these people expect you to go, no, I'm not. I'm not a racist, and let me tell you why. Because I got a black friend, or whatever. You just shrug your shoulders and you're like, yeah, fuck it. So what? What are you gonna do about it? You know? And these people, they're like, oh, okay. Now they might try and cancel you or fuck you over. That's a possibility. But a lot of times they just go, oh, okay, well, there goes that then, son. I guess me calling him a Nazi didn't exactly work out as planned. Right? People throwing around terms like Nazi and phobe and ist and whatnot like it's fucking Halloween candy. Anyways, this sign here, being offensive is an offense. But the problem is, if you were to walk up to these cops, I guarantee you, police everywhere are looking at this going, oh, fuck, I'm glad that's not me. Having to stand in front of the sign. I mean, some of these guys probably actually buy into this shit, and I guarantee you, though, a lot of them are just like, man, I'm just here to collect a check at this point, right? But if you go up to these cops and you're like, well, I find that sign offensive, so who designed it? And how do I get them arrested? Right? It won't happen. It only goes one way, right? I'm offended at people who don't buy into my pride ideology. I'm offended at people, like if you were if you were to make a complaint about a pride parade where guys are walking around with their cocks out, oh, no big deal, sir, it's for human rights, and this is how it was explained to me. Cops have discretion, and when a pride event happens and guys are walking around with their cocks out, they use said discretion, even though it's a criminal offense. So here's the thing, folks. Should you have a night of drinking with your buds and you just want to rip down the street naked, just carry a rainbow flag with you. All is forgiven. Officer, you're not stopping me because you're homophobic, are you? Whoa. Oh, are you a homophobe, officer? I'm just walking down the street with my schlong out. Right? What's the problem here? I'm celebrating pride. We're just so fucked, anyways. Yeah, you can find this sign offensive, which I do because it's an offense against free speech, and nothing will happen. But Someone claims you're an Isterophobe. Well, the cops in England are coming knocking at your door, and even in Canada too, right? Oh, I wonder if I can find it. I'll just tell it to you. So a lady in Wasaga Beach is posting about some South Asians shitting on the beach, Indians shitting on the beach, and it made the news. And the police actually went to her door because she was posting stuff about it. Right? It made headlines. It became widely known, so much so that the cops felt, okay, we got to tell this chick to tone it down because people were literally shitting on the beach. And it's the same sort of principle with the whole rape gang thing. Cops come to your door. They don't want racial unrest, right? At all costs. So they will go after the individual rather than the group, right? Because we must have racial harmony. We have to prove that multiculturalism is not a failure. And let's be real, it's a bit of a failure. It's a lot of a failure. In many ways it is. Maybe not wholly and completely, but in many ways it's an utter failure, this whole multicultural mosaic, right? And they can't have that. So they would rather knock on a woman's door and say, hey, you got to tone it down a notch, right? Even though all she's doing is telling the truth. I heard her on the radio, and even the host was like, okay, don't mention the people, because she literally said after the interview when she posted online saying, yeah, they told me I couldn't say this, I couldn't say that, I couldn't say it was like Indians, and, because they don't want to ferment racial discord in Canada. Meanwhile, I mean, you go on Six Buzz. I mean, it's already there. Okay. Anyways, England, you're fucked. Canada, we're next. Thankfully, our government's been shut down for now, so the online harms bill has been shelved, which would make it a human rights issue if you posted something on social media. We'll get into that later, though. Anyways, yeah, England, you are the Florida of Europe, and God help your people, because you guys are well and truly fucked. There's no such thing as freedom of speech in England. None. You can't have freedom of speech without speech that offends people. And being offensive is an offense. Well, fuck you, Britain. Okay?